This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day. Our generation, we need a lot of redemption, because what was handed over to us was religion. It was not altar ministry. The songs that housed our reality were not effectively passed. The kind of prayer that should put together the realities of the past are gone. We were not even taught to be priests. We were taught to be all about ourselves. That if your amen is louder, you can harvest more than your blessing. You can use amen to steal blessing of other people. No, don't look at me like that. You have gone to such meetings. Say, let your amen be the loudest. If your amen is louder than your neighbor's amen, then you can go home with your neighbor's blessing. It's because people don't understand how the spirit realm operates. They don't know that even blessings have names written on them. You can only be the best of your kind. You have boundaries. I think that if your nose sneezes loud, they can begin to see. We are fake people. This year we must begin to labor to understand the way of spirits. The things I have outlined tonight show that every one of us can build an altar. Nobody is at a disadvantage. And because all of us can build altars, what it means is that no family here is hopeless. No local assembly that we represent is hopeless. No institution is hopeless. There is no department in Lautech that is hopeless, as long as it has a man who can build an altar. So there's a lecture starter here. They call it 1-5, right? Who does lectures in 1-5? Is there anybody here who does lectures in 1-5? Okay, it's for pre-degree. 1-2. 1-2 is a good place. Get home tonight and sit with God. Find out what the time coordinates of an acceptable altar in that hall is. It may be that you don't need to go to the front. You see, there are many churches that the podium there is not where the altar is. There's an elderly woman that comes early and sits at the back. She's the one that is manning the altar. If the service is successful, she's the one that God blesses. He's not always in front. Apostle said he went for a meeting, and then a strange woman came and said, my son, this place that your altar is facing, there will be no realities in this meeting. Because the woman knew the alignment of the environment. That this is where the spirits come from. Is diabolism. They used to do ministry there. So you need to line up your altar. It must be facing a particular place. So the spirits are coming from behind the people. They are relating with the pastor. He's just a reflector. If he wants to slay them, the unction must come from that direction. As it hits him, he can cast it this way. Apostle said he laughed and said, he didn't know there was another spirit he was operating. So he positioned his altar in another way. And after the end of the meeting, the woman came to him. How did you do that thing? They are both priests at different levels. So the altar is not always here. Sometimes the altar that powers some churches is not even in the church. It's just somebody that is burdened that way. You don't love anything but you. Don't let them waste their time. And is powering the church from his house. When we get to heaven, we will know why churches survived. Because God will afford us the privilege to say, you are the priest of this church. The pastor says, no, I'm the GO. He says, you never showed up here. It's this guy that made your church survive. So you go to 1-2 and God says, not too much time. Can you give me 15 minutes? You say, but that's my reading time. That's when I assimilate most. That's where the sacrifice is. What should I do? Just go round 1-2 between 10:30 and 10:45 and 11 o'clock. And just worship. It might just be worship. Like that one that you did. It might just be worship. You just go around and come back. That way you have implicated everybody in that hall. If somebody comes to sit in that hall, he's gone. But do you know that a diabolic man can also do that operation? That says anybody that comes to this hall cannot want to follow Jesus. And the praying man becomes a weak man. That's how they operate too. I know you will say that this, say, we can pass through any place. Until a priest comes. There are places where the land is plain, but if you pass, you become another man. Was it not that as Saul went, the road that he stepped upon was supposed to administer a new reality? We need to be sensitive. There are departments that house oppressors, and everybody is saying, we have been praying. You have been praying in convenience. Go further, go beyond normalcy, and then the mortal dimension begins to look for you. Oh, that guy is saying something must happen in college. So break time, they pray. It's good to pray at break time. You know, fasting doesn't make sense when you don't have food. And there was something that was it architect Jumoke? I think I read it on somebody's WhatsApp. She was talking about women who claim that they are meek. She said meekness means nothing without power. That you submit to your husband when you need to say, give me money. It's not submission. It's in the day that you have money, that you can buy anything and go anywhere in the world, that your husband tells you, don't travel to UK. You know he's the one that will give you money to go to UK. He now says, no, nobody's traveling. You now say, I obeyed him. You are not meek. In the day where you can call the embassy from your house and say, I'm going to UK, and they say, send somebody with your visa, we'll stamp it, and your husband says, my dear, nobody's traveling in this house, and you say, okay, that's meekness, because you are powerful, you can house it. We don't have food before, let's fast. No, you are already inconvenienced, so but we have food. And when the great one wants to trouble you, to see how sacrificial you be, he will allow you to finish cooking the best one. Oh man, boss, hello one. This is not concussion. It looks, the colors are the same, but this one is embedded with certain things that and he says this meal is his own, because today you will fast. Then you will quote scriptures like, to labor and to eat of the fruit of your labor is a blessing of the Lord, and the Lord will say to you, not this one. You see, if you walk away from such sacrifices, the true value of your life begins to diminish. That's the truth. When a man says no to heaven's demand of a sacrifice, he begins to lose value in the hand of heaven. I'm showing you why men were relevant and suddenly became irrelevant. When you go out to minister and you know if you snap your fingers, a row is cleared, and God says you must not snap finger today. Preach like a weak man and sit down. You know that the guys came to be imparted. And you say, when you hear ministers make that sound sometimes like, kai, there's something I want to do. But he says don't do it. If you do it, your value will drop. Sacrifice. Because you don't know that obedience there raised an altar. Because sacrifices don't happen on the land, they happen on altars. People will look at you and say, Kai, the guy doesn't have power again. Your rating with men left, and the space it creates, another order of life will fill it. That's how men increase. Are you hearing me? That's how men increase. Every time something leaves us, something occupies the space.